Hey you guys, this is the third and final round of Cross-Server GB, or at least this season of Cross-Server GB, and starting out in a tank up against SlapNTickL, going after Chili's tank. Ember gets pulled into a fight. I thought she was just like, I don't know, on a kamikaze trip at first or something, but I think it was accidental on her part. So Robin and I are of course stalking Chili, trying to take out his tank as quickly as possible, and taking out some smaller players in support of the totems. Uh, just in the meantime, while we're waiting for Chili to get out of the battle. Let's take Bwin at one of the totems. He's visiting his family, so I hope he's enjoying himself. I think he really will. Chili gets out of the totem, I mean not out of the totem, out of the tank, and just gets shot down. Probably better for him to just stick it out in the tank, since we had tanks there that could destroy the tank if nobody's in it. And so really, when you get out of the tank, which sometimes I do, which is leave the tank, it should be after you destroy a tank. So there's a little bit of strategy there where you can leave it alone for a little while, but really you want somebody else to pick it up and use it for good later on. I got out to change up my runes, noticing that I have brutality and chaos there. Take out this one tank. This is, I mean, they probably can't help it. This is a very small guild. I mean, they do have Chili and some other strong players, but overall, just really tiny. But having weaker players in the tanks, they get taken out very easily, and so there's almost no point to having them in there. You're almost better off just saving the tanks for your top players and using them later. So you can have your top player in a tank, and then later on, just go grab another one if you really need it. But when the weaker players are in the tanks, they just get wiped out so fast. Here is the first of many fights with JellyMac. If you want a video where you just see Chili and myself battling it out with, of course, other people, but this is definitely the video for you. Robin actually was holding up quite well against him, even though she was struggling a little at the end. One of the problems here is that Chili has a better increase or damage increase bonus than I do. So I came into the fight later. I did have some damage increase, which is a little bit strange, but I know that his must be better because he's been in this fight for several minutes, or at least a few minutes, and so his damage is really big here. So Bwin's getting into some fights with Shock, and so they seem to be doing all right, and just leave Shock to take care of things really. So supporting a little bit at the totems makes things easier for the people who are getting into fights and stuff. Oh, going to support. JellyMac and Elia, round 2. Chili has his ranger on. I ended up bringing the ranger, but I think that was an accident. I meant to bring my oracle. I forget if I end up switching it later. I might have, but I might have just left it on. But anyway, there's no harm. The reason why I shouldn't have brought my ranger, or at least I should have switched the skills on my ranger, is that he was set up for PvE stuff, and so I don't have a lot of the poison skills on there, so it's not that helpful. Into Sylph mode. I'm definitely hitting quite hard when Chili's outside of Sylph mode. A bit more difficult once we start talking about in Sylph mode. He has a lot of damage reduction from his Odin, so definitely doesn't take as much once he's in Sylph mode. Shock had a good crit on him earlier with like an ice bolt or something though, so she's dealing quite a bit. I don't know why, but somehow. I mean, not that Shock isn't a great tune, it's just saying. A little bit surprised that she's hitting Chili as hard as she is. Either that or I hit him and then it looked like it was her attack. Got the stun on him, which pretty much closes this up. Oh, I guess he's drawing it out. At least Shock got Devil's Gaze on him, so his heal wasn't too big. So one more Seal skill should do it. Really from just about anybody at this point, but get my Devil's Gaze in. And at a certain point, I think Chili is just going after fights with me or maybe Robin too. You know, he's a competitive guy, and I think he's probably just out to have a bit of fun. If he were going for sound strategy, I don't think trying to tie up Robin and myself in long fights would really be the best approach. If he had a bigger guild, maybe yeah, that would work better. But for him, he probably would have been point-wise better off trying to help at some of the totems where Robin and myself were not. And but he doesn't take that approach. I think he's just having a good time, and I think that's sort of fun. So you'll see plenty of fights with him and myself. Got a stun on Midori, which is bad news for her. I don't know if she had any heals available, but she gets taken out rather quickly. I mean, once he gets into Sylph mode. Oh, and he has somebody named Elvira who's supporting him. I don't know if that's after the song. Elvira is I don't even know. Immediately go with a twang because it's a country song, which is sort of funny because I don't even listen to country music, and that's not even like a thing against country music. That's just like, I don't know. Grew up a Yankee born and raised, so I think I've been to the South maybe 3-4 times in my entire life. One of them includes a trip to Disney World, so I'm not sure that really counts. Eyes that look like heaven, lips like cherry wine. That girl can sure enough make my little light shine. Alright, enough. I gotta stop. Elvira. What were we talking about? Wartune? Chili gonna die. Oh, no. Not enough. Oh, not a bad Guardian rune right there. And he's out. 150% bonus. I mean, for sure both of us are hitting pretty hard, so it's all about, like, you know, when do we get the heals in, when do we get the Guardian rune in, and I seem to be at an advantage there. I also had more support. You know, I think, this guild was spread pretty thin, whereas for us, we have a lot more players, and so I had more support than Chili does. I think one-on-one, Chili and I think most of the fights would probably still go to Chili at this point, just because he and I have similar will crystals. Actually, in this situation, I do end up winning quite a bit more, but I think it has more to do with dimensions. I'm guessing that Chili's dimensions are just not nearly as good, whereas mine were quite good. I wanted to have nice dimensions. One, I just want to try and keep up dimensions a bit more. I was getting a lot lazier about them, and then they finally did the change to the search function in them, and so now I'm trying to be like, okay, like I want will crystals, I want whatever, and so I'm trying to do them more, but also I just wanted to be a little bit prepared for Chaos War, and so my dimensions are quite good, and I'm wondering if Chili's are probably worse. And so people were, we were on raid call, and some people were talking in chat, and so I knew that this west totem, which I'm attacking a lot of the people with the tanks, was bugged. So I try and support them by killing off people with the tanks and hoping that the people who are maybe bugged or whatever, like something will work out. But I didn't want to actively get into a fight at that totem, because often if a totem is bugged with a lot of players, like a lot of nonsense going on there, just adding more people to it just makes the situation worse. So I was trying to support these guys, see if we can take it back somehow, or eventually just try and clear it out a little bit. But I didn't want to physically get into a fight there. So for the most part, I'm just checking on the northwest totem and the north one. Yeah, so I'm just mentioning that to the guild. Uh-oh. Looks like the Northwest Totem gets taken, so end up having to get out of this fight and go grab that back. We're actually missing quite a few people in this battle. Some of our European players, Celeste wasn't feeling too great, so sometimes she'll get up for this, but I don't think she was doing well, so I hope she feels better soon. And then of course Bwin not around visiting his family, and yeah, and just a lot of people missing. So a lot of our stronger folks weren't around, which just goes to show that we have a lot of people. So even though we're missing a lot of people, um, we were doing just fine. So I actually only have 3 of the totems at the moment. Trying to get Bwin over to the Northwest one. But I'm already here. Tassin's with me. Good to go. Oh, and there's Chili. Tassin gets thrown into it too, but I don't know what happened with Bwin. That ranger really is nasty. It has a lot of bleed skills, and you would think that, like, I don't know, with a bleed that it would only be a single target or something, but it has AoEs. Like, it has an all-player AoE and a back row AoE. So it has those skills, but I mean they bleed. It's like AoE bleeds, and they're very, very nasty ones. So really have to watch out. Tassin with a water pet. He's like the original water pet user on our server. He's had that water pet forever as his main. Uh-oh, but getting taken out by Chili pretty quickly. Only naturally, it does not have the BR to handle the mech, handle the pasta. This one not looking in my favor whatsoever, but I do get that Guardian rune in time. Oh, actually, it's not even in time. I didn't need the Guardian rune because he wasn't able to make it to the other Delphic. So now I'm at a big advantage. A little bit of a deflect there, but luckily I gained some health as well from Devour Soul. And wow, so really once he's out of Sylph mode, and if I'm in Sylph mode, I'm in really, really good shape, dealing a lot of damage to him. So really his resistance not at all helping him, but his Odin passives do help quite a bit. And for some reason I lost that fight and ended up going to the spawn. I thought, I said to Chili maybe it was a deflect. I don't know what happened, but very strange. I look back at the footage. I checked that one just because I thought it was so weird, and I was looking and I didn't see any Delphic. So if you, not Delphic. Sorry, I didn't see any deflect. So if you guys know what just happened, let me know. Here with Shock, so always feel more comfortable up against a strong player like Chili if I have my wife around, because she can Fury and has the ease, that can help me out. My stun doing a good job there. I am sylphing a bit early, and the kid is already dead, so I'm not totally sure why, but I don't know. Maybe just going for the gusto. Chili goes for the Delphic, so I'm immediately grabbing my Guardian rune. Oh, what just happened there? This darn hide other objects crap is just... oh. I think I've complained about it in pretty much like the last 5 videos I've done because it's that annoying. It's just incredible. I can't see what's going on. I can barely see what I'm doing, let alone the other players. But yeah, it does end up lagging me more, and especially for a player who generally was not lagging, it's just crazy. and Chili's complaining about the deflex, and they really are very dangerous. The deflex from which influence is it? Oh, it's influence, not influence. I was thinking which fate is it, and it's influence. And so the deflects from that are just so huge, and there's no cap on it. So it's a 20% deflect with no cap whatsoever. I never thought I would really want a cap on a deflect, because the caps on most of the other deflects in the game are way, way too low, and they just seem like, you know, what's the point? But that deflect is a little bit too much. So they either need to decrease the percentage or they need to put a cap on it. But so far I haven't seen anything like that. But you know, if all of them proc and you like from the other team and you AoE them, you can die just from like one AoE, and usually that should not happen. So anyway, very, very dangerous. There's some drunk. He's out of the game. Almost got Chili. Oh, there he is. He might have died from a bleed on that one, or just, I don't know, lagged a little for him to die. Here's Juan with a dark pet. He's a little bit out of luck at the moment, but actually, well, a little bit hard to tell how strong somebody is once they're up against myself and Shock. More Chili Mac. I think this might be our last fight. I was just poking fun at Chili because it was really obvious that he was just coming after me. So I was saying, "Oh, you're cruising for a bruising." But things are wrapping up here. Just saw him Winston that we're up, you know, 9,000 points or so. Oh, there's Guan Yu. So actually, this might, minus Elvira, the country song, it looks like a very usual team for Chili, Guan Yu, and some drunk in the mix. But yeah, that's very nice. We win, and therefore we get third place. So in finals, we won our first round, then lost to Wolfpack in the second round, and then beat SlapNTickL in the final one, and that's very good. So I get 10,500 crystals for third place in Diamond Group, and that's very nice. Go take a peek. Our winners are Wolfpack, so there's our ranking, and then Wolfpack got first. So big congratulations to them. They've been very, very dominant in this tournament. So again, a great performance from them. And of course, that's the only guild that we lost to. I think there are other guilds that we would have lost to, but they're the only ones that we ended up facing that we didn't win. And just going through the rankings, I hope everybody enjoyed this. It is sort of fun, you know, the bugs and whatever are a little bit frustrating. I had one where I was just like completely black screened out of the rest of the fights, but you know, not much you can do there. I think group PvP is very fun, and guild battles and stuff. I like Chaos War. Crossover GB can be very fun. I wish the rewards were a little bit better. But one awesome thing is that the people in my guild, you know, I'm not going to try and do this, but in the shop, you can actually go after more of the yaks, the yak mounts, and then exchange them for beast souls. So if you need that, that's really, really an awesome option. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Take care and have a very good day.